Welcome everyone to another content talking about hockey with my guy Jim Berenger here. Jim, Nikita Kucherov, Nathan McKinnon. I'm loving this. I'm
Ooh.
loving this competition of points. Kucherov has 85 right now. McKinnon has 84. What you gotta say about that?
Look, Nikita Kucherov and Nathan McKinnon right now are 1-2 for the Hart Trophy. For those that don't know what that is, that's the MVP, the most valuable player in the National Hockey League. My definition is most valuable player to his team. This is not surprising by either player, especially Kucherov. Kucherov's been doing this since he's come into the league. He's a second-round pick of the Tampa Bay Lightning when Steve Yzerman was the general manager. So no surprise here. The one year that Steven Stamkos got hurt, he almost brought the Tampa Bay Lightning single-handedly to the playoffs. They just missed out by like 3 points. So am I surprised Kucherov is doing this? Absolutely not. McKinnon, same thing, man, guys. First-round pick. Probably should have won the Hart Trophy a couple of times. Most likely 2018 when Taylor Hall won it as a member of the Devils. But I'm loving it. It's like anything you can do, I can do better. Kucherov will have 3 points one night. Nathan McKinnon will have a 4-goal night. These guys seem to go back and forth. Both guys are up in Toronto for the All-Star game this weekend. Like, you look at it, right? McKinnon's got 84 points. Kucherov, 85. Then you go to the goals. Kucherov leads by 32 over 31. But then then they're both tied with 53 assists. So, I mean, these guys are the two best players right now in the league. The two best players. I wouldn't say two best players in the league, but I would say that the two leading candidates for the Hart Trophy right now. Connor McDavid, to me, is still the best player in the league. And you could put those guys behind it. But I think right now those two guys lead the way for the Hart Trophy.
Yeah, Kucherov is the real deal. He's been doing this for years now. Nathan McKinnon, we know what he can do. Both of them have won Stanley Cups. Nathan McKinnon has a chance to have more by the end of his career, if everything stays intact with Colorado. But it's gonna be so fun to see these guys go back and forth, or it might be someone else that could go on a hot streak and catch up to them. But so far, it's just those two guys going at it. But let me talk to you about Sidney Crosby. We know the kind of season he's having, especially for his age. He's not showing any signs that he's slowing down. But there's some rumblings going on that people want him out of Pittsburgh for him to compete somewhere else. What do you have to say about that? What are your thoughts?
I don't think Crosby's going anywhere.
Me neither.
I'm gonna believe 87 retires a Penguin. Look, we know sports talk hosts like to talk. We know, like, well, you could get Crosby out of Pittsburgh. He doesn't want to be part of the rebuild. He's got a year left on his deal. He's gonna retire a Penguin. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Like, the dude came up when Mario Lemieux was still playing in the league for like the third time. So, I mean, Crosby is the Penguins. Unless Crosby wants, I think it's Crosby finished his career, a couple of one-year deals, and we'll see how we play out. I don't think he's going to sign a multi-year extension. I think it's year by year after his contract is over. Look, he's 36. He's playing some of the best hockey of his career right now. It's hard to, imagine saying that 36 in the National Hockey League, Sidney Crosby, because what he's done and what he's accomplished throughout his years, this is one of his best seasons ever. He could get 50 goals, 90 something points. I mean, the guy doesn't slow down. And I think, to me, if the Penguins find a way in the playoffs and Crosby's a big part of it, you have to put him third on the ballot for the Hart Trophy. You have to.
Yeah, I don't see Crosby anywhere else. It's very rare to see a player stay one team for the rest of their career, and I really want that for Sidney Crosby. Even the people in Pittsburgh want that. Now, anyone outside of Pittsburgh, they're really on the inside saying, like, please go somewhere else. Go somewhere else. But no, he should be a Penguin for life. And, he has a 1 year left on his contract. But let's see how this plays out. Because you know how the business of sports is. We tend to get hit by surprises, but Crosby should end his career as a Pittsburgh Penguin. And that's the final opinion on that. And I got one more topic for you to wrap this up. And it's the big one of the day. Elias Lindholm got traded to Vancouver Canucks. The Vancouver Canucks, they have exceeded everyone's expectations this year. With this move, how far do you think Vancouver can go?
I mean, real quick on Crosby, real quick. You never say never in sports. We've seen Wayne Gretzky get traded. So, I mean, look, it can happen. I just don't see it happening. And I don't think they would ever do it. So, on to Lindholm. What a trade. Wednesday night, breaks, Canucks and Flames do it again. Nikita Zadorov got traded earlier in the year. So now the Flames acquire a depth center. So now you could probably break the lotto lineup of Brock Besser, JT Miller, Elias Pettersson. But Lindholm's a UFA, but he gives him depth down the middle. He can play the wing. He could probably play with Pettersson too. Pettersson is going to need a new contract, but he's RFA. So, and I think the commitment by ownership giving Jim Rutherford, Patrick Allvin extensions, this team winning, the spine of the team, Quinn Hughes, Thatcher Demko, Pettersson roll. I think Pettersson stays. To answer the question, I think the Vancouver Canucks can make a deep run in the playoffs the way Rick Tocchet has this team going. I like the trade from both sides. Kuzmenko's out. Okay, he has to waive his no-trade clause. That's fine. I think he needs to change the scenery. It's just not working out there. He's not a 39-goal scorer anymore. Maybe he was never a 39-goal scorer, but he's not as bad as he's playing. So I think he's somewhere in between. I think he works well in Calgary. The prospects we'll see. But I think Vancouver can make a deep run. They're right up there, top in the Pacific, top in the West, could win the President's Trophy. But if everything continues to line up, and I think they may add another depth piece, maybe they get Chris Tanev. They were trying to do it last night. I don't think they had the pieces to do it. Maybe they revisit it. If they can continue to add depth and continue to play at this rate, I don't see why the Vancouver Canucks cannot get back to the Stanley Cup final.
They have been an amazing story this year, and I'm happy for them. This is a team that last season, they were nowhere near in good news. You had the head coaching situation, but to see this team bounce back after everything they endured last year, and you're seeing these moves that they're making. We saw in the offseason the moves that they were making, but it's one thing that you make offseason moves, is another thing you have to prove it on the ice. And what they're doing this year is just flat out unbelievable. I'm happy for them. I hope they can make a deep run because I like seeing new teams winning. I like seeing new teams competing. So, but with this trade, on paper, I don't know exactly where to rank them in the West. You probably could answer that for me. But they're getting serious. They're not playing around.
No, I mean, if you rank them in the West, I don't see why they're not in the top 5 teams right now. I mean, the way Edmonton's playing, you got Colorado, you got Winnipeg, Dallas, Vegas is going to turn things around. So I don't see why they can't be in the top 5. Look, Calgary, all credit to Calgary and Craig Conroy. Guy holds on to 2 retention spots now. He doesn't retain money on the Zadorov deal or this deal. Noah Hannafin and Chris Tanev are still there. Maybe Jacob Markstrom goes out. So you're holding retention spots for players now. So this is a great move by both sides, and I think it's a win-win, and it's another good hockey trade executed by Craig Conroy, who said when he took over as general manager of the Flames, he was not letting his free agents walk for nothing like we saw with Johnny Gaudreau.
General managers, that's how you execute moves. You don't wait till free agency. If you got to move somebody, move and get something in return. So good trade by both teams because Calgary, they got a lot of return.
They did get a lot of return, and you could see that. You see it around with other teams right now. You look at the Flyers, who are struggling. They have pieces teams want. I make the equivalent to the Major League Baseball. I've said it many times on many shows. It's a great analogy. Shohei Ohtani was at his highest. The Angels decided not to trade him. He walks for nothing. Elias Lindholm, Calgary, it's got value. The Flames, they get what they want. And now he sets the market for the other centers going forward at the trade deadline.